Hello, and in this video we will be installing Linux into VirtualBox on Windows. This is our recommended way of having access to Linux if you're not a UNSW student. It's very easy and is probably the least hassle solution. So to start off, we're going to need to download the VirtualBox software, which you can get from virtualbox.org. You'll see this page. You can hit the big download VirtualBox button, and the version of VirtualBox is this first one for Windows hosts, so you just download that file. Then you'll need to download Ubuntu, which is the version of Linux we'll be using. So you can just go up to download and press desktop, hit download. Down at the bottom here, just take me to the download, and that will download the file for you. Now I've already downloaded these files. As you can see, they're in my downloads. So the first thing we'll do is install VirtualBox. We're not doing anything special with VirtualBox, so you can just continue through all of the prompts and just let it install itself as normal. The next thing we'll need to do once it's installed is create a new virtual machine. We're just going to call it Ubuntu, as you can see here, because that's the version of Linux we're using. When it asks for memory, I'm going to give it a bit more than what it recommends. I'm going to give it 2 gigabytes, which is much more reasonable. I wouldn't give it more than half of whatever the maximum you have here. For me, half would be about 8,000 megabytes. We're going to create a virtual hard disk now. Next, 8 gigabytes should be enough. And so that's set up all of the settings for that virtual machine. So we're just going to power it on. And you can see it's now asking us to select a CD to install from. We're just going to open the file with that open file button, go to our downloads and select the Ubuntu file we downloaded and hit start. This is going to start installing. When we see this sort of man figure down the bottom, we hit enter, we select our language, and then we go to install Ubuntu. Get rid of these pop-ups. And as you can see, Ubuntu is now started. And it's asking us to install. I'm going to stick with English because I'm an English speaker. Hit continue. I won't download updates just to save some time here. You might want to. You won't need these third-party things because we're only programming with C on this. So I'll hit continue. Going to erase the entire disk. Now this is only going to erase that 8 gigabyte file we made, not the actual hard disk of the computer we're running on. This is why we're going with virtual machines, because it doesn't affect the computer it's running on all that much. So I hit install now. Continue. I'm in Sydney, so we'll say that's my time zone. If you're English speaking and you're in Australia, your keyboard format is probably US, so you can just hit continue. My name is Curtis. Make sure you type your own name up here. I'm going to change the name of the computer to make it something shorter. So it's just Curtis-VBox, that's my username. And then put your password in here. You have to have a password, you can't have no password. Because it's a virtual machine and there's nothing too volatile on it, I'm only giving it a basic password. It doesn't have to be too strong. I'm even going to let it log me in automatically. That doesn't mean I can forget what that password is, though. I have to remember that password so I can install any software. Once that's all done, I can hit continue, and it's going to start installing all the software and installing Ubuntu on the virtual machine. This could take up to an hour or two, depending on how slow your computer is or your internet connection. So don't worry if it doesn't take as short a time as mine does. But to skip over the loading time here, I'm just going to fast forward through all this. And as you can see, it's all done. So we're just going to restart the virtual machine now. So we can hit restart, and it's going to restart the virtual machine, which looks like it's having a bit of trouble, so we'll just force it to restart. So up the machine menu here, we'll press reset and allow it to reset. And this is just going to start up and log into Ubuntu for us now. And now that it's started, the first thing we're going to do is install drivers in Ubuntu that let it run inside this virtual machine properly and gives it proper access to all the virtual hardware. And to do that, we just hit the devices menu up here, select Insert Guest Edition CD, hit Run, type in our password that we made a few minutes ago, and this is just going to take the time to install all of those drivers, which might take a few minutes, so we'll fast forward through this as well. And now that that's installed, we can just hit enter and we can restart the virtual machine. So we go up here, select shutdown, and hit restart. The next thing we need to do is make sure that we have all of the software for the course installed. So for that, we're going to need to probably eject this disk first. For that, we need to go to our menu here, type in terminal. Most of the things we're going to do will happen through this terminal. Because we're going to use it a lot, we might want to lock it to the launcher, move it right to the top. As you can see here, it says to run it as administrator, use the command sudo command. So normally if you want to install software, you'll use a command like apt-get space install, but in order to do that you have to be an administrator. So what I'm going to do is type sudo-s, and it's going to ask for my password. So go s, type in the password I made, and you can see before I was logged in as Curtis on the computer, Curtis VBox, and now I'm logged in as root, which is the administrator account. So what I can do now is I'm going to type in the command curl dash capital L S. I'm going to say http c5 curtism.me/check. I'm going to say pipe, that's the key, shift and the key above enter, bash, and this is going to run a script that will install all of the software we need for the crash course. And if there's software that's missing, it's going to try and install it. And as you can see, it found and installed all the software that it needed, and it passed all of its own tests. So that means that you're all set up to go. And you can just type exit to go back to using this as yourself. So what I'll do is just take you through starting up your virtual machine whenever you need to go to use it now. So in order to start it up, you just need to go to your start menu and type in VirtualBox and open up VirtualBox here. Then you need to double click on Ubuntu to turn it on, and this will start it up. And then you can get straight into using it. So as I said, most of what we'll be doing will be in terminal. But you can also browse files through the file browser here. You can see that this file browser starts by showing you the directory home. If I type in the command pwd, this is going to say that I'm currently looking at the folder home-curtis. If I press Ctrl L here, this is going to tell me I'm in the same folder. And the way I can see what folders I have from the command line is if I type in ls, it's going to say that I have desktop, which is a folder, documents, downloads, music, pictures, public, and there's a shortcut there to examples. You can see that all shows up here. I can also say ls-l That's going to give me more information about all of the files. I could say LH. That'll make it easier for me to tell how big each of these files are. If you want to make a directory so you can organize things, you can use the command mkdir. And let's say we want a directory that's just called crash course. That's made a directory, and now I'm going to cd, which is short for change directory, into crash, and if I hit tab, that'll finish that off for me, and I can hit enter. You can see now here, this is telling me that we are now in the folder crash course. What I can do from here is I can make a C file. So the program we use to write the files is nano. So if I just give the name of the program and then the file that I want to write, which is hello.c, then I press enter, I have nano here, and then I can just start typing. So I can say this is hello.c, say prints hello world. You can see it lights up all our text nicely. Then I can say this is going to give me access to all of the normal functions I can use, which includes basic things like functions to end a program and functions to do comparisons, and this line here then gives me access to functions that let me write text out to the screen and read things in from files. Then I'm going to write my main function into main. This is the function with the name main is a special function that is the first function that gets called in your program. I'm going to just then call the function printf a -n, tells it to put a new line at the end of it, so it doesn't keep typing on the same line after this function's called. Then I'm going to exit the whole program. I'm going to say return exit success, and that's going to be the most very basic C file. So if I hit Control X to exit, as you can see exit down here, it's going to say, do you want to save? And I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say file to write, and I'll hit enter for hello.c. So if I ls now, it's going to say there's a file there, hello.c. If I say pwd, it's going to say the folder I'm in is home/curtis/crash course. And then what I can do is compile this into a program, which is going to be clang -wal. The -wall tells it to make show me all warnings. -WERROR tells me to show all errors as well. -O, not a 0, does some special things in the background. -o says this is the name I want for my program, so I'll call it hello. And then I just type in the names of all of the files that I want to have compiled into this. So I'm going to use all the code from hello.c. And then if I do ls-lh again, you'll see we have hello.c, but we also have a file called hello, which is our new program. And to run that, we just do /h tab to let it complete, and that's going to say hello. We hit enter, and it says hello world. And that's how this course is going to run. And if you can do all this, you should be ready for when the course gets up and running. Thanks for watching.